Hello, all. New story right now. Let's get into it. Oh. So, it says here Beijing LGBT Center shuttered as crackdown grows in China. Why do they have a LGBT center in Beijing? Did they forget they were Chinese or something? So, oh, rainbow flag. You've lost your Chinese mind. Okay. Taipei, Taiwan, and an advocacy group that also served as a safe space for LGBTQ community in Beijing became the latest organization to close under a crackdown by Chinese leader Xi Jinping's government. We very regretfully announce, due to forces beyond our control, the Beijing LGBT Center will stop operating today. So you're going to have to be gay somehow. I mean, read a notice posted on the center's official WeChat account Monday night. Beijing LGBT Center did not respond to an email request for comment. You serious? The Chinese are very good with computers. You don't want to do that stuff. The Ministry of Civil Affairs, which oversees nonprofits in China, also did not immediately respond to a faxed request for comment. The group's shuttering marks a critical blow for advocacy groups that once had been able to be public about their work for LGBTQ plus rights. I don't think so. Not in China, you don't. They're not the first group, nor are they the largest, but because Beijing LGBT Center was in Beijing, it represented China's LGBT movement. What are you doing, bro? It's not the United States. It's goddamn China. They do not play. Said one Chinese activist who requested anonymity out of fear for his safety. He should be scared. In our political, economic, and cultural center, to have this type of organization, it was a symbol of the LGBT movement's presence. Yeah, they ain't even got the Q in there. They barely moved anywhere. See, over here, we got all sorts of letters and the plus. But they only got 4 letters. They ain't even rocking like us. The Beijing LGBT Center described its mission as evolving into what? You goddamn Pokemon? It started as a safe space for the community to host events. Then it became an advocacy group aiming to improve the living conditions for sexually diverse community. So you're a political organization. I don't think Chinese think too highly of that. I mean, they're like, you go ahead and have your parties, but then you wanted to improve living conditions? They offered low-cost mental health counseling and published lists of the LGBTQ. See, they got to cut it off. They got a minus. They got a minus. They got a minus right there. Minus that Q. Friendly health professionals. Throughout its involving mission, the center hosted public speakers, film screenings, and other events. Mr. C. Oh, Mr. C. Man can't even use his own name. Who keeps his real name secret to protect his parents' privacy. His parents. My dude, you should be thinking about yourself. You out here slinging dick in the wrong hole. They don't like that. Privacy was one of the center's featured transgender speakers. Mr. C sued his former employers for letting him go after a 8-day trial period. Whoa, what are you talking about? It was a trial period. You just had to not be transitioning for 8 days. I don't know. I don't know what happened. He alleged it was because of his gender expression. Well, and that wasn't part of the job. They didn't hire you to be rainbowing the place up. They also hosted Liu Peling, Liu, Liu Peling, a transgender woman in her 60s. Oh, why would you want to transition to an old chick? After a certain age, you're like, it's probably better to just be a man. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just saying words here. Who spoke about being mocked online for dressing in women's clothes? Bro, even if you didn't dress in women's clothes, people would mock you online. It's what the internet does. A groups like the Beijing LGBT Center continued to publicly push for rights such as same-sex marriage. Oh my God, now they're messing with the laws. They're messing with the laws. China is not having that. Are you out of your mind? Who are you pushing? These are Chinese. They're petty as hell. Even after a nationwide crackdown on human rights, lawyers and activists that started in 2015 after Xi came to power. In the past few years, that limited space has shrunk further. The well-known group called LGBT Rights Advocacy China. What was that? LGBT track? LGBT track? I don't know. I don't know what the acronym would be, which brought strategic lawsuits to push for policy change and expanding rights, closed down in 2021. It was that fast. The group's founder was detained and the organization's end was a condition of his release. I told you the Chinese don't play. According to an activist close to the group who was previously based in China but has since relocated abroad, he declined to be named out of fear of the government retribution towards family in China. Exactly. They don't play. Whose apartment is this? A view of the entrance to Beijing LGBT. Oh, that's the gay center. They barely got any colors in there. How are people supposed to know you gay? In face of the constant pressure, he said, sometimes groups are not able to openly inform the community they serve about politically sensitive events they held, which would cause confusion. It's confusing. Before the crackdown, LGBT rights advocacy China built a network of lawyers who were sympathetic and willing to help LGBTQ+. Oh, they got the plus back. You can add that Q in there. People with legal issues. They had several visible nationwide campaigns on your side, pushing for policy changes such as recognizing same-sex marriage through targeted lawsuits. Police pressure on rights groups increased in the past few years, the activists said. Police often invited LGBT plus groups to drink tea. A euphemism. Oh, what are they really drinking? For unofficial meetings. All right. That the police used to keep track of certain targets. That used to happen in public spaces. Oh my God, they're doing that out in public? Put on the OnlyFans, my dude. If you're going to be wilding like that, might as well make some money. But they started taking place in private spaces, such as directly in front of activists' homes. Oh, Lord. Getting splooged on the doorsteps. Police also started taking activists to the police station for these teas. They're like, what's the tea, sis? Let's go to the police station. Damn. They're really underground down there. The LGBTQ plus organizations often don't officially register, as it is difficult for them to get government approval. Of course it is. Why would the government approve that? It's China. And officially registered groups that partner with them have also come under pressure. Sometimes groups especially small ones, are shut down without an opportunity to tell the public, the activist said. The ones we've seen aren't just these few, but actually the majority have shut down, the activist said. The pressure has continuously grown. It's never stopped. I'm just saying, if China ever go to war, all these people, all these transitioning people, all these gays and lesbians are going to be right at the front lines because China don't play. I'm just saying. In July 2021, WeChat shut down dozens of accounts with LGBTQ plus topics that were run by university students and nonprofit groups. In response, some groups changed their names, removing words like gay or sexual minority that would easily trigger the censors, though it was largely ineffective. Of course, eventually you're going to talk about what you want to do in the bedroom. You can't get around it. I mean, you could get around it, but then eventually you got to take it from behind. Until Monday, the Beijing LGBT Center, oh, they lost the Q again. They just had some progress, man. Stayed in operation despite the censors and growing pressure. The group worked with the United Nations Development Program to conduct a nationwide survey on sexuality and gender in 2015, aiming to provide a baseline on the hardships that face, oh, they got it back, the LGBTQ plus people living in China. What do you mean living in China? They're goddamn Chinese. The survey asked respondents about their access to social services, healthcare, and how societal attitudes affect them. In recent years, the group has focused on workplace diversity and inclusion. God damn, they full-on Americanized out there. Next thing you know, their women are going to be all strong and independent. Last week, the center posted an article celebrating 15 years of work. Beijing LGBT never had much money and very few staffers. It was all dependent on hundreds of volunteers, the article said. Their shutdown makes one feel very helpless. You're always helpless. You're in China. As groups large and small shut down or stop hosting events, there's no longer a place where one can see hope or see another man's asshole, said another Chinese activist who represented anonymity for fear of government retribution. Well, I don't know what to say. We're all struggling out here. Till next time.